do. Zachary Dillabough and Bruce Blumberg.
Okay, wonderful. Let's go on the record. We're here in State of Arizona versus Zachary Michael Dillabaugh, CR 2023-00431. Record will reflect the presence of the defendant appearing via Zoom with his attorney, Bruce Bloomberg. Um, Chief Deputy County Attorney Joe Collins is here for the state. I believe we also have victim representatives who are present here as well, and who are appearing via Zoom. So we're here for Complex Case Management Conference. Are we getting close to trial setting time, counsel? What are your thoughts, Mr. Bloomberg?
Sure, Judge. Thank you. I would have suggested we set a trial date this setting, but I've been informed that our investigators, I'm sorry, let me just backtrack and fill you in. So, our investigators examined the scene, and then Mr. Collins set it up so that they could come to the police department and examine the evidence that was in custody at the time. I've been informed that there were some key pieces of evidence that were sent to another location out of state, probably, and Mr. Collins can tell you, for those folks' expert examination. So the defense investigators weren't able to examine those pieces of evidence. On the defense side, I reached out to Weaver Barkman, who's our expert, to see when I could expect a report, and he didn't get back to me. So I do expect him to produce a written report pretty soon, but according to my investigators, they do need to set another date when those items are back in evidence. That's what I presume. I'm waiting for Joe's response to that. And then, Judge, we could schedule a trial
So, Mr.
after
Bloomberg,
that.
nobody's reached out to me about not being able to view the evidence or scheduling a new time. I did get a phone call. We sent out the firearm, Your Honor, and some of the remaining ammunition for gunshot residue testing. It's my understanding that it could not be tested because the ammunition is different than that was used in the alleged offense. So they're returning those items. They should be back shortly for your investigator to review, and then he can complete his report, and we can start interviews at any time. Mr. Bloomberg has reached out to me about beginning interviews, so that's where things are at, Your Honor.
Yes, we could, on both sides, we could do interviews beginning, soon, Judge. So,
Mr. Bloomberg, do you have a request then today as far as a continuance of the case management conference or complex case management conference is concerned?
I did not file a written motion. We hadn't done that in the past, Judge. So, but I'd be happy to. I could put one together and get it to you this week.
Well, you can make a request here on the record. Otherwise, I'm going to set this for trial. But you don't have to file a written request. You can make a request here on the record, and I'll ask the state what their position is.
Yes, I'm asking. Thank you. I see. Judge, I am asking that you set this off for another final status conference. And if you could do 60 days, that would be what I would prefer.
Mr. Collins, state's position.
So, Your Honor, I may have an objection. If the court is setting trials, I probably couldn't try it till October, November anyway. If the court's setting it, and I believe probably 6 days, at least at this point, without interviews is what I'd estimate. But if it's going to take us that long to get on the calendar, I'd ask to set it for trial. If we're going to be able to get a fairly quick date in 60 days so that we could get on the calendar and get it tried. And I'm familiar with the court's scheduling. I don't know how familiar Mr. Bloomberg is. That's why I asked the question. If we can get on the calendar fairly quickly in 60 days, then I would ask that I would have no objection to a continuance. If it's going to take us some time to get on the calendar, we might just want to set something now.
And so I would go along with Mr. Collins in that regard. So, Judge, if it's going out to November or December, then I would agree with Mr. Collins.
Well, One challenge that I think we may have going forward, the defendant is out of custody. And so we have a number of cases that are set for trial. And if we have two cases set for trial, one in custody and one the other one out of custody, the in custody will take priority. So even if we set the trial out today for October or something, and then some in custody case ends up getting set on top of it, we're gonna have the same situation. I think it's so I don't know that there's necessarily an advantage to being the first case to be set for a particular date, because it just may not turn out that way anyway. Let's do this. And I guess the one thing we haven't done is there any possibility of a plea deal in this case? Is that have we already passed that point? Is it just a matter of this case has to go to trial? There's no.
Your Honor, an out-of-court settlement is always possible. At this point, the ball is kind of with the defense. I think when I had inquired previously, Mr. Bloomberg had indicated they're not there yet, and I think that's because they hadn't reviewed the evidence and they hadn't done interviews. Since this is a homicide case, I understand. Again, there might be some possibility of resolution, but I'm going to throw that ball to Mr. Bloomberg to answer it. That's the best of my knowledge where we're at.
Mr. Bloomberg, do you think we're just going to have to and actually I guess we are all planning on a trial, but do you think that's there's any possibility of some sort of settlement short of trial?
Well, I have to await the report of Mr. Barkman to even make conjecture on that. Okay. But it would require just a meeting with Joe Collins. So I'm not, it's not likely, Judge. I wouldn't gamble on the prospect. But
all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this complex case management conference to 3:30 p.m. July 7th, 2025. At that time, I'm going to also set the matter for a trial setting conference, and we'll see if we can find a good time to do this.
I think Aaron Kelly wanted to address you, Judge, and I would request permission to appear virtually, have my client appear virtually as well, as long as he's at the office.
Any objection from the state?
As long as we can see him at least some point during no objection.
Okay. Defendant and defense counsel may appear virtually at the next hearing. For Mr. Dillabaugh's benefit, Mr. Dillabough, even though you may appear virtually, you must appear. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Any bond posted could be forfeited. You could be charged with the crime of failure to appear. Do you understand that, Mr. Dillabough?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
What was the time again, Judge?
3:30 p.m.
Thank you.
July the 7th, 2025. And time is excluded between today's date and that date.
And we waive time as well.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Your Honor, I heard counsel say somebody wanted to say something. I don't know if it pertained to this case, but I want to make sure.
Who is Aaron?
Did I miss something?
I wanted to make sure. I didn't know who Aaron Kelly was. Maybe she's a representative of the victim, and she raised her hand, Judge.
Oh.
I was just moving my hand. Sorry if that's what it looked like.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
That's okay. I appreciate that. If I was, that would have been very appreciated.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Anything else?
Nothing further.
Thank you so much, Judge.
All right, that will be all.